Razaban here for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me, I've got CEO of Black Box Management, Team Dillian Whyte, Mr. Dean Whyte himself. Dean, you're in your car, so I appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time. How are we doing?
All good, man. All good. You telling me?
I'm all well on my side. How's the family? How's everybody, first of all, as I always like to ask first?
Yeah. Everyone's good, man. We're just cracking on. We're trying to keep positive, and keep sane in these mad trying times, man. So that's it, really, man. That's it, man. Yeah.
Dean, we're now about just under, or roughly around 3 weeks away until Dillian Whyte turns back into the ring in the anticipated rematch with Alexander Povetkin. I know you're in contact with Dill frequently, so how's he feeling? How's he looking? How is he mentally? How's training going for him?
Listen, Dill's always a vibrant, bubbly character, man. Even after the fight, you saw he was just like, listen, man, he dusted himself off. He said, I want a rematch. I'm ready. I'm just he was the same self the next day, joking, cussing, as he's always been. And I think I spoke to him yesterday and the day before yesterday. Yeah, so he's good, He's good. He's in a good place. He's getting some little jokes, talking about some stuff and that. And I think, I think they just he just wants to get back in there, I know they're training hard. Obviously, there's a difficult situation because he's in Portugal. And we've been trying to get over there because normally I would have probably tried to go for a certain duration in the camps. Like the last camp, I went out there for a few weeks. This camp, because of obviously lockdown, all of us got stuck here. The guys that came back got stuck, so they couldn't even get back out there. So that's been a little bit of a thing. But look, that's got nothing to do with nothing. Listen, Dill's his old man on his own journey, and he's tuned in. He's got the tunnel vision. You know what I mean? And he's always been like that. So what's good is obviously they're ticking over, all of them. They're gelling well. That's the main thing. And come on, fighting that in a few weeks, that will be put to testament, and redemption is what we're just seeking.
I know you said he's in Portugal. Obviously, Portugal's currently on the red zone list for the UK government. And it's very clear that if you come from those types of countries, then you have to quarantine in the government hotels.
Yeah.
There is no exception at the moment for elite athletes and professionals, as Eddie Hearn has said. So with the location not being announced, where is it likely, do you think it'll go? Would it come to the UK? Does it go to Gibraltar, Monaco, somewhere like that? Because we're not 3 weeks away now.
I know. I'm not going to lie to you. It's real crazy. Obviously, the talk is that it was Gibraltar. I'm not sure where we stand on that. I did have a conversation with someone, and they're skeptical. So I don't know. There's not much I can say about it at this moment. You know what I mean? So I think that is a key factor. I know he ain't gonna be happy, guy. 10-day, 11-day quarantine. Trust me, that ain't gonna be part of no plan Dill's got. I promise you. He not gonna. But to be honest, how's that gonna affect the fighters? You're not gonna be able to train. 10 days, 11 days in quarantine, you're not gonna be able to train. How's that gonna work? So literally, you mean he'd need to come back today, do 10 days and have another. You know what I mean? It's not gonna work because I think with that quarantine thing, you got to kind of like self-isolate, not be with your trainers, your like your strength guy, and you won't be able to. You just won't be able to prepare. So it's going to be a difficult situation. Like I said, I'm not too sure at this juncture what's actually happening, but I've got a little bit of information. But like I said, I'm not going to go into that. I'll just let it play out as it plays out, and we'll see.
I know Dylan said that he wanted it to be abroad so he can have some fans there.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's difficult now. The government have now changed their rules and regulations, so going abroad for fans is difficult as well.
Well, depends where you're going. Yeah, and obviously it is because they said it's essential travel, meaning i.e. business. So yet again, that's another thing. You know what I mean? So you're right. But that's not stopped anyone before. Many people, even old Piers Morgan, who likes to run off his box, where was he, in Barbados or wherever he was sunning it, when they said we shouldn't be traveling. Many people have broke the lockdown rules anyway and, gone and bended it. Even MPs have done it for their own kind of satisfaction, gratification. So I don't know. But look, the objective was, I know he didn't want to come back here and fight in an empty arena again. And obviously because of what's going on. So they was trying to pin it somewhere abroad. Not sure, but it would be nice. But then obviously I'm sure Dillian's got fans abroad also. So that, but really you'd need to be promoting that now kind of thing, if you get what I mean. Like, oh, we're here, come, and kind of start notifying people. When are you going to tell them? A few days before, you know what I mean? I don't know. So it's going to be interesting anyway over the next few days. I'm sure we're going to hear something. Look, this weekend, I think once they get that out of the way, that will have a clearer indication on where, things are going to be and stuff. I believe any day now they'll start to have news on stuff. But I think if he definitely doesn't want to fight here. That's something he's quite adamant. But sometimes, you got to do things you don't want to do. So we'll find out. And we'll see. But yeah, that's just over the next couple of days, man. I don't know.
He's brought in obviously Harold Knight into camp. Obviously Harold's got a reputation of being with Lennox Lewis and Emmanuel Stewart in the past. And I've been watching Dylan's Instagram stories, and it looks like everyone's gelling and they're having their laugh and banter as Dylan normally does, taking the piss out of the trainers, etc., etc. So he seems like he's in a very good place.
Yeah. Come on, man. Look, you've been around long enough. You know what his mindset is. He is a very fiery, bubbly character. Loves to take the piss. That is his number one trait. You know what I mean? And entertain yourself. And I think that's just his character. And I think him having that kind of character, it helped him bounce back because it's about acceptance. So the most difficult thing in this, if you cannot accept your defeat and brush yourself off, is where you have a problem moving forward. You know what I mean? We saw Anthony Joshua do it in a Ruiz fight. He didn't make no excuses, just like Dillian. He didn't make no excuses. He said, I made a mistake, and he paid a hefty price. And when you can look at it objectively and say, look, I made a mistake. If I rectify those mistakes, I'm going to, I was on my way to victory.
I caught the gap.
Moving forward, I should.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Yeah, so moving forward, I cook those gaps and, I go in and do what I need to do. So at the minute, it's just, that's in his nature. And as professionals, that's what you should try and do. But some professionals, sometimes defeat get to them mentally and they can't shake it. And then either they retire or they're just never the same going forward. You know what I mean? From what, speaking to Dillian and seeing him and knowing how he is, I feel like he's just him. You know what I mean? And we'll see that come March the 6th.
No, absolutely. And we look forward to the news on where that fight will take place. Dean, you've been around the sport a long time. On Saturday night, we saw the return of boxing in 2021. But unfortunately, it came under great shadow with the judges and the scorecards. Just want to go to one of the fights with Zelfa Barrett and Tito Martinez. And two of the judges saw the fight, 118, 111. No one that I came across, that I spoke to, had it even that close. In fact, most people gave it to Martinez. I spoke to Spencer Fair on yesterday, and Spencer said to me, the judges are ruining UK boxing. We saw Eddie Hearn go on Sky Sports and say, how are we going to bring these elite fighters from the other countries into the UK when our judges are giving these types of scorecards? Kind of Germany was known to be a graveyard place for fighters to go because they were always giving the scorecards and favour to their home fighters. But it seems like England has now got that spotlight and that image now. Is that fair to say?
I don't know. Look, that fight, if truth be told, I did see highlights of it. But what I did, I kind of was speaking to fans online who DM me, and I was speaking to them while the fight's going on, because they were like, oh, that was a robbery. And I go, what was a robbery? Because because I didn't actually see it at the time. Cause I was doing stuff. I mean, I was doing quite a lot of interviews Saturday as well, so it was kind of with like American channels and that, you know. So when they were saying that, I was kind of confused, and then I was like, "Oh, the fight," and then they went into it, and a few people spoke about it. So, well, I need to watch it and catch up. Having saw bits of it, and then listening to what a few people, analysts, and other people's versions of it, what I was led to believe was in the first 4 rounds, some people had Zelfa winning the first 4 rounds, and then in the middle, what's his name again? Kiko. Kiko is an animal still, though. Kiko's been around the game a long time, and he always tests people. Listen, if you ain't got that metal, trust me, Kiko will find a chink and sort you right out, man. You get me? So that being said, in the middle rounds, Kiko pressed on and was doing good, but then some people had, you know, Zelfa still just having a cleaner work, and then some said in the later rounds he started to kind of notice that he needed to pick on, and he's picked up his work rate and done a little bit and finished very, very strong in the last few rounds. That's what I was kind of heard from listening to what it is. I do need to catch up on some of those fights and watch them, but you know, it was a big weekend of UFC fights, and I managed to really watch the main card is really what I watched. But speaking of that, I looked at Zelfa's face. That kind of told a little bit of a different story, but it said there was a clash of heads with it. He got a cut, and Kiko didn't look too turned up, but you can't really tell too much about it. But listen, I've seen Kiko, man. I know what he comes to do. I've seen him in, what is it, 2 fights with Frampton, was it?
Frampton Quigg as well.
In the past. Yeah. Them boys. He had a few fights with them, and like I said, he's no pushover. He's no mug. You know what I mean? So I don't know. A lot of people said they had. Some people said they had Zelfa winning by a round or so, but that margin of 18, 11, whatever it is, was ludicrous, as you know, most people said. So I need to go and watch it myself all the way. I did kind of, like I said, catch glimpses of it, but I need to watch it fully to kind of see. But it depends what you like, you know what I mean? If, you know, he's just gonna come forward and just throw leather. You know what I mean? That's what he does. So, and it's hard to keep someone off who does that. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's a shame because obviously they're saying it's tarnishing the sport and so on and so forth. But I mean, like, you know, America's been doing it for years. Canelo's got away with loads of stuff. Not being funny, that one against bloody, even one of the judges in the Mayweather fight gave it close to Canelo or something crazy. And then the Triple G fight, the first fight, I felt like he lost that, and they gave it a draw. The Deontay Wilder against Fury draw. Listen. You know, at the end of the day, you know, the game is what it is. I don't think we should read too much into it. I know Eddie went on to make a little bit of a noise here and there, but I just feel like, look, sometimes you're going to have hometown decisions and they're going to, you know, go to the home side team sometimes. But I don't think we're off any different from anyone in. Back in the day, like you're saying about Germany, you needed to knock them out to get a draw. That is totally different. You know what I mean? I don't think it's that bad here. You know what I'm saying? So let's see, man. You know, all over the world you get bad decisions. Maybe COVID's affecting some of these people's mindset. I don't know, man. You know what I mean?
We saw the main event, Josh Warrington return. Everyone knows Josh. Whenever he comes out to fight in front of the Leeds crowd, they come out in big numbers. I don't think there's anything like it in boxing at the moment.
Crazy.
But a lot of people said that the energy from the crowd was missing. Obviously, there was no crowds there. But without that energy, it may have affected Josh. Obviously, Dillian likes to fight in front of fans. And O2's packed out. Josh is the same in Leeds. So by having no fans, do you think that played a part, or do you feel like he just came across a young, hungry fighter who was desperate to win?
Yeah, that plays a part. But at the same time, if you're someone who thrives on having fans, and the fans he has is totally different. That kind of, the fans maybe spawn him on in certain moments, but I'm not gonna lie, that guy was an absolute barbarian. I'm very sorry. that fight was mad. Hey, listen to me. That fight was mad. I mean, in the first 60 seconds, I knew there was a knockout. There was going to be a knockout. You cannot fight at that frantic pace and just letting shots go. It was a tsunami, boy. And I was like, that guy was shooting for the stars, that kid. Now, he was trying to get him out of there. And funny enough, I was with a few pals, and I said to him, you're gonna, put a bet on, see what the odds are. He had great odds on the other kid, and I said, you know what, throw your money on that, man, because I feel like I didn't even say a knockout. You just put for a win, and he won decent money on a very, very small bet. Really, I should have done the same, but I was occupied a little bit, so I kind of missed the boat on getting a little injection of some cash. But I mean, what a fight! Credit to that kid. Congratulations to him. Credit to Warrington as well. He's a warrior, bro. He took an absolute pasting and was just in there throwing leather, where sometimes he should have fought and been a bit smart in where he needed to hold. I know he tried to hold when he got knocked down, but I think he was still trying to fight, because he's a warrior. He's a true warrior through and through. You know what I mean? And but in stages there, he should have kind of thought about it. Instead of trying to swing at that time, he should have tried to slip and just hold for dear life and kind of turn and press him against the rope and try to recover a little bit more. He tried to move a little bit, but then his legs was unsteady, and I don't think they really came back.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can. Yes. Sorry about that. In the middle round, you could see like he started to gain momentum, but that kid was on his ass, man. That guy was just too hungry, man. Those Mexicans, man, their things are different. I heard he's from the same gym as Navarrete. Is that right? Is he a stablemate of Navarrete? Navarrete is a Nava machine. I don't know why they were thinking about trying to fight him. I guess for all the belts and that, but he is a machine. Those boys eating them beans and tacos or whatever they're doing over there, they hungry. They hungry. I don't know, man. But look, credit to both fighters, but credit to Warrington. I hope he recovers. I read somewhere in the news today, I was reading some articles. I vaguely glimpsed it. He said he had this 3 kind of concerning injuries he's got. But I mean, they got to assess their game plan. I saw him trying to use his jab and box a little bit. But listen, man, my man was just walking through that jab and just eating what it was and letting his hands go, man. That guy weren't playing about. But what a hell of a fight. I'm not even going to lie to you. If what a way to bring back in 2021 with that kind of fight. It was the wrong end for us UK guys that we lost the world champion. But what a fight it was.
No, absolutely. Dean, in boxing, fighters, promoters take separate paths. Fighters and trainers part ways and look for different people to work with. We've seen recently, obviously, Deontay Wilder has parted ways with Mark Breland. However, it seems like they haven't parted away on good terms. Wilder obviously made a few reasons of why he left Mark and spiked his water, etc. Mark stayed relatively quiet for a long period of time, and it seems like only recently on The Fight Is Right with Spencer Fear and Tunde Ajayi, he's finally spoken out about his reasons and his perceptions of Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder has now fired back once again that he's jealous of me, etc. What have you made of this whole commotion? And also, where does this leave Deontay Wilder?
Well, listen, Deontay Wilder's made these ludicrous allegations with no founding. To be honest, like I said, and I said it to these guys on the weekend, because you got a lot of, in America, you've got a lot of fanboys, and a lot of fans that obviously, are on his back and saying and going what he said. But listen, for you to be spiked, I'm sure there was some form of VADA testing and some form of big testing, especially on a fight like that. Why haven't we seen the proof? If you were spiked, it would come up in that test, I'm sure. Or what evidence do you have to sustain what your claims that he spiked your drink? And it's quite weird if you're saying, he spiked it and you've got no evidence. But then normally what would happen if you get rid of one, you normally get rid of all the team members and say, you know what, I'm just going to start fresh. I'm going to get rid of everyone because I need new impetus. I need to have faith in whatever it is, the team that's going to try and push me and get me back on the map. I don't know. It's just confusing because what Breland was saying was, that Diaz J was saying that on certain days they couldn't talk to Deontay Wilder. He was unapproachable. He was in a mood. You shouldn't talk to him if you want to keep your job. Stuff like that. And then they would go on to be like, oh, he doesn't do bag work. He doesn't jab. He doesn't want to work on his skills. I get it. You're a knockout artist, but, most of them other things were working on jab and distance control, kind of lead you up to throwing your right hand and stuff like that, man. But I don't know. The whole situation is bizarre and crazy. But what we do know, they have separated, and it is what it is. I know a lot of people kind of have fobbed off Deontay Wilder and said what, this, and they hope he's kind of somewhere basically in the wilderness and never to return. But I'm saying, listen, Deontay Wilder's got big fights in him. Deontay Wilder's still relevant. Obviously, those two boys, them big boys, they're going to be fighting soon. So, they're going to be tied up for a few years. There's mega fights. Not looking past Povetkin, 100%, even 200%. We've got, there's big fights down the line for Povetkin, maybe Wilder, Dillian and Wilder. There's many fights out there that Deontay Wilder can bring himself back from the brink of where he is, because he's doing too much talking and conspiracy theories about many things, conspiring to, first it was the conspiring of the uniform was too heavy, then it was, my shoulder, then it was the tampering of Fury's gloves, then it was his fights, my drink. It's too many excuses. We don't want to hear none of this, you know what I mean? Let's get past it, you know what I mean? Get past it. I get it, you lost. Sometimes this is the example and epitome of what I was talking about with Dillian and Joshua, accepting defeat and moving on. If you cannot accept your defeat and move on, it's going to hinder you and it's going to haunt you, and it will be with you forever. And then when you go in there, in your mind, you're feeling like, I shouldn't be in this fight because I should be the champion. And when you got that little nasty attitude, that's going to leave you open to get your ass knocked the fuck out by someone else, because you're feeling like, I shouldn't be facing this guy. He's not really in my league. And then sometimes you don't train as hard, or you don't give them the credit they deserve, and then you go in there and get your ass whooped, and then you go down the level until you're here, and then you've disappeared. So he needs to get the focus back, and I'd like to see him. I think a press conference with him and Dillian would be amazing. Those guys chat some hella smoke, some hella shit, and it'd be good. But listen, I think there's big fights for all them boys. Like I was saying to these the other day, Big Baby Miller obviously is going to come back. He chats a lot of shit. Michael Hunter, a great fighter as well. I like him a lot. Povetkin, Dillian, Wilder, even Charles Martin, Andy Ruiz, Joseph Parker. You know what I mean? Any names I have forgotten, I apologize, but there's many, many guys in the mix. Even throw Derek in there, he's still viable. He's still strong. He's still got some burning desire to do things. I think he done an amazing job in there with Usyk, and I don't think he got the credit he deserved, because everyone was talking about, and the commentating was real pro Usyk. Oh, that was skillful by, you know what I mean? But look at the end of the fight, and you saw how Usyk's face was. You know he was tangled, mate. Remember that? When you've been tangled, you know he's been tangled, bruv. He's been in there, and he come in there with a little monster rude boy Chisora that was pressing. Obviously, there was times, Chisora gassed a little bit and he caught him, but trust me, he got tangled. You saw by his face, and he knows, that guy is a big old brute, and he means business. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those. So look, there's mega fights out there, and I'm sure when the fans come back, we all want to see these fights. We want to see all these people mix and punch 7 bells out of each other, man. Come on, give us what we want. We want freedom, Boris, man. We've had enough. Boris. Let us out, son.
All right, Dean. Thank you for jumping on, giving me a little bit of time. We look forward to hearing some news about Dillian Whyte fight location, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you very, very soon, the next couple of weeks towards fight week.
Absolutely. Listen, thanks very much. And I hope everyone's well, keeping positive, and, staying strong, man. We're nearly at the borderline. The borderline to exit, hopefully. Listen, all the best, man. Thanks very much, as always, man. Everyone take care. Look after yourself. Yeah?
Dean Whyte, IFL TV, thank you very much.